Good morning, it's Dr. Larson talking about COVID-19. It's June 30th, and as most of you know, on June 30th, Governor Inslee released most of the restrictions on our behavior, on our activities for the state of Washington. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about COVID-19 vaccine. We'll talk about our local health order, and I'm going to talk about the Delta variant and the reasons that you might hear that people are talking about still wearing masks even if we're vaccinated. So on June 30th or sooner, unfortunately we didn't get there sooner, but on June 30th or whenever we got to 70% of people initiating vaccine in the state of Washington that are able to get vaccine, Governor Inslee was going to release all of our restrictions, or most of our restrictions on our activities in the state of Washington. We've done really well. We didn't quite get to 70%. We're just under 70% initiating vaccine of people 16 and older. A vaccine is currently available for people 12 years of age and older in Washington state and in the United States. And probably soon, maybe August or September, for kids 5 years of age and up to 11. So we almost got to that 70%, but we did get to June 30th, and those restrictions as of midnight last night were released. So the general view of restrictions. So things outdoors are probably fine, totally fine. No restrictions on activity, social distancing, the number of people that you can have over at your house for a barbecue. If you want to go to the Gorge for a concert, those things are going to happen this summer. If you want to go to the Ellensburg Rodeo, that's going to happen this summer. So outdoor activities, we've known outdoor less transmission occurs with COVID-19 outdoors. Essentially, if you look at it as an overall bucket, anything outdoors is fine to do. Indoor activities, restrictions on indoor activities if you're going to have more than 10,000 of your closest friends over for a barbecue at your house. In actuality, it's probably, if you're going to go to the Tacoma Dome and go to a concert and they have more than 10,000 people, or you're going to go to a basketball game indoors in Portland, over 10,000 people, limits at 75% of capacity unless they check people's COVID-19 vaccine status. So those are the major changes. So outdoors, everything's okay. Indoors, you should still be concerned if you're having a lot of people that are unvaccinated. There are some restrictions that still are involving masking for businesses. So labor and industry still has not changed their masking requirements. So businesses still need to have their employees masked if they're not vaccinated. Schools, still currently for schools, whether you're vaccinated or not, schools are going to have to wear masks. So kids are going to have to wear masks, teachers are going to have to wear masks. I think that's going to change over time. The Secretary of Health has to rescind his mask order for those things to change. So I think those are going to change soon. But currently, if school was in session or for summer school, you still have to mask. If we have a basketball tournament happening in Cle Elum, masks are going to have to be worn if it's in a school building. So those are the changes that have happened as of today. Our numbers in Kittitas County have been really good. This is our third day in a row that we've had 0 cases from the hospital. So that's our major testing center, 0 cases. We're averaging about 2.1 cases a day over the last 2 weeks. So things are really good. Vaccine, we're still struggling to get people vaccinated. We've got about 50% of people initiating vaccine in Kittitas County. That means that 50% of people do not have vaccine, The data on vaccine is still really strong. It's good for the variants that are out there. It's really good for kids. It's good for adolescents. We had an issue with some inflammation of the heart that occurred with young adolescent males, self-limited, meaning it goes away. Those kids received ibuprofen or Aleve in the emergency room and are totally fine. So that was evaluated by the FDA. Our safety measures have been working appropriately. For those of you that have had COVID-19 disease, by getting vaccinated, you're protecting yourself from the variants going forward, and you're getting longer lasting immunity. So somebody who's had COVID-19 and they get vaccinated, they have longer lasting immunity than myself, who's not had COVID-19 but have been vaccinated. So there's still a great benefit for those people that have had COVID-19 to be vaccinated. The answer for the variants, so we're looking at, you're starting to see some information. The World Health Organization recommended that even people that are vaccinated, wear masks indoors if there's a lot of unvaccinated people. That's because vaccines are only 95% effective. So if you're around 100 people, half of them are not vaccinated, you still have about a 5% chance of getting COVID-19. So Los Angeles just chose to recommend masks indoors. That's because we're not quite sure what's happening with the Delta variant. It will soon become the predominant variant in the United States. It's what's happening in Israel. Israel has just gone back and made some restrictions on activity because of Delta variant. What's the answer? The answer is to be vaccinated. So we're still encouraging people to be vaccinated. We're getting out, trying to answer people's questions about vaccination. You can get vaccine through KVH. You can get vaccine at almost all of our local pharmacies, and please get vaccinated so we can continue to get back to normal. We are getting back closer to normal, but we will have outbreaks, local outbreaks that occur because we still have a lot of people that are not vaccinated. I was just talking to a friend this morning who practices medicine in Newport, Washington, up in the northeast corner. They only have about 30% of their population vaccinated, which means they would be more likely to have an outbreak than we were, about 50%. But if we were at 70% in Kittitas County, that would be better for us. So please be safe, be careful out in the heat. It'll start getting cooler, but make sure you're being well hydrated, be kind. People are having a hard time, and be thankful for all of those people that worked really hard over the last 18 months to get us where we're at. So thanks a lot. Have a good week. Give me a call if you need anything. Thanks, bye.